When Natalia went out into the street, she was stunned. It was snowing again, but the sun was shining yesterday and the temperature was above zero. That spring wasn't the most pleasant. However, the weather matched her mood and state of mind. "Why are you standing here?" Svetlana, Natalia's older sister, asked friendly. "I'm breathing fresh air, sister." Natasha smiled sadly. "I haven't gone for a walk for a long time. I even forgot what it's like. Lately, the hospital has been my home. This place is tough, no matter how you look at it." "I understand, my dear, but it's all over. I talked to the doctor. The course of chemotherapy should improve your condition. You did well. I'm proud of you." The woman hugged her sister. Burying herself on Svetlana's shoulder, Natalia allowed herself to become weak and cried bitterly. Or maybe that was the natural outcome. Not everyone faces cancer at 35. No matter how you hold on, trying to believe in the best, you experience intense fear, despair, and misunderstanding. What for? Natasha learned about a suspicion of this terrible disease about a year ago. That was when the woman realized for the first time how she loved this life, even if it wasn't for the happiest. At first, she chose not to believe the doctor. After all, he could have made a mistake. But after undergoing additional examinations, she was convinced the trouble had come. Natalia immediately took an unpaid leave and began to look for ways to solve the problem. Perhaps the scariest thing was to keep everything inside. To face the terrible news alone was cutting like a knife. Therefore, the woman decided to share her health status with those closest to her, her husband and sister. They were the only ones she had. Her parents died long ago, and God did not give her children for some reason. Or maybe he foresaw that Natasha would face a severe disease and not have time to raise them. On the other hand, living this life without knowing the feeling of motherhood was very painful. But as they say, everything is God's will. Natalia met Konstantin, her husband, at work. The girl was a dispatcher and often had conversations with suppliers. Konstantin was just one of them. Their talk was so sincere. The man noted how straight the girl's speech was, and when he saw her photograph, he realized he wanted to know her better. Natasha's colleagues told him that she was 25 and single. Konstantin decided to take action. That evening, he met the girl after work and took her to a good restaurant. Their affair developed rapidly. A year later, the couple married and started building their family life. The relationship between the spouses seemed to be going well. They always found compromises, rarely quarreled, often went out into the countryside, and loved spending time together. The conflicts began about 5 years later. Konstantin suddenly realized he wanted a baby. Of course, Natasha supported him in this decision. After all, she was already 31. It was high time. The girl long and patiently waited for her husband to take such a responsible step. As for her, she was ready for children almost from the first year of their family life. Finally, Konstantin wanted the same. But unfortunately, getting pregnant wasn't so easy. After a year of unsuccessful attempts, the couple decided to go to the hospital for help. Doctors carefully checked the health of both spouses, but could not find the cause. They only explained it sometimes happened. Perhaps that wasn't the right time. They advised the spouses not to get hung up on the situation, to let go of this idea, and not to lose faith. After all, they could always resort to IVF. Those words did not reassure the spouses at all. Probably that moment became a turning point in the family's life. Natalia worried and blamed herself for their misfortune. If she had insisted on children before, perhaps they wouldn't have faced this problem. Konstantin closed himself from everyone and became more irritable towards his wife, who was already despondent. The spouses almost stopped communicating and sharing plans and goals. An eternal wall of misunderstanding seemed to have grown between them. That was unbearable. But Natasha did not lose faith and hoped that everything would change. She thought she had to be patient, and Konstantin would realize it was hard for her too. He would become the same as before. But that did not happen. Each of them got carried away with their lives, work, hobbies, just so as to not cross paths at home and remind each other of the pain they both felt. The couple did not pass this test of strength. When Natalia knew about her disease, it all changed in her mind. She suddenly realized what a mistake she and her husband had made. Instead of uniting, supporting each other, and helping to get through a rough patch, the young people drifted apart and left everything to chance. But life is so unpredictable. You are healthy and strong today, but you may lose it all tomorrow. Natasha became scared. Therefore, the woman decided to trust her husband and share her pain, hoping that this news would change his behavior and attitude in general. Natalia remembered that evening for a lifetime. When she returned home from the hospital, she cried a lot. Then the girl put on makeup and a beautiful dress, set the table, and started waiting for her husband. He lingered, which made her even more worried. A few hours later, Konstantin entered the apartment. Natasha met him at the doorway and began a dialogue. "You are longer than usual today. I was starting to worry. For all this time you didn't care where I was, and here you worry. Why?" the man asked, somewhat irritably. "I always worried. Why are you saying so?" the woman tried to explain herself. "I need to tell you something important. Wash your hands and go to the table. I've cooked a delicious dinner." Konstantin smiled and appeared in the kitchen 10 minutes later. While plating his favorite salad, the man began the dialogue first. "So, what happened? Please don't leave me hanging." "Oh, you eat," the woman said quietly. She was visibly nervous. "Please don't worry too much and don't interrupt. It is vital to me. At first, I wanted to solve all the problems alone, without telling anyone about them. But I realized that I couldn't do that. I feel scared and very hard. I need support from my loved ones." Konstantin put his plate aside and started listening to his wife. Stuttering and shedding tears, Natasha told him her sad story. The man did not interrupt his wife. When she finished, he approached her, hugged her, and whispered, "We can handle it. I'm here with you." The woman did not believe what she heard. Her husband had not stopped loving her and was ready to help her at such a difficult moment. How happy she was! Why was he afraid to say that before? Unfortunately, Konstantin wasn't so high-hearted. At first, he supported his wife, took her to the hospital, and helped with money. But after a couple of months, he changed dramatically. The man was tired of what was happening and could not find anything better than leaving his wife, who needed him so much. Konstantin silently packed his bags and was about to leave the apartment while his wife was at the hospital, but he found her at the doorway. "Are you going somewhere?" the woman asked sadly. "Natasha, let's try to avoid hysterics," the man muttered irritably. "I know you can call me a scoundrel or a traitor, but I cannot bear it anymore. Do you hear that? I'm tired. Honestly, I tried to hold on. I did want to help you and support you. And then I realized my time was running out, Natasha. I'm almost 40 years old and still haven't achieved anything. What about children? I dreamed about them so much, but now it's impossible with you. It would be better for me to leave until it is too tragic. And please don't cry. It's hard for me too. I loved you." "I doubt it very much." Natalia was choking on tears and could not utter another word. "The apartment is yours. I'll go to my parents and we'll sort it out later. I'll let you know about the divorce. Get well." The man said that and loudly slammed the door. Completely broken, Natasha fell to the floor and lay there until the evening. The only thing that made her get up was her cell phone. Someone was persistently trying to call her. It was Svetlana, her older sister and closest friend. Why didn't Natalia tell her the news first? She would have certainly supported the girl. Hearing the barely alive voice of her younger sister, Svetlana realized that something had happened. She arrived in an hour and demanded an explanation. Natasha told her sister everything. Svetlana did not lecture or lament. She hugged her sister tightly and promised to help her overcome those hard times. And one must say, Svetlana kept her word. She moved in with her sister, helped her around the house, cooked delicious meals, and kept things cozy and clean. Of course, she took Natalia to the hospital and consulted with the best specialists. Most importantly, Svetlana supported her and did not let her lose hope. That was priceless. "Oh, my dear Natasha, please calm down." Svetlana's voice brought the woman out of her painful memories. "You and I still have to fight. We need to be strong." "Where can I get the strength, sister? Sometimes I don't even want to live." "Don't say so. We've come this far. It's not time to give up. Yes, you've faced a lot of bad things, including your hubby," the woman said furiously. "He filed for divorce," Natasha said quietly. "Thank God! You don't need him. Who needs enemies with friends like these? Don't convince me otherwise. He betrayed you. He left you at the roughest moment. There is no excuse for that. And it's even better that you don't have a child. He's not worthy of that." Svetlana noticed these words were unpleasant to Natalia and quickly changed the topic. "Oh, God is the only judge. Let's not talk about sad things. You finally left the hospital. And you lost weight again. That won't do. Let's go home. We'll feed you and warm you up. You're all freezing, poor thing." Natasha entered her apartment and breathed a sigh of relief. It's true what they say. Even the walls help at home. Svetlana asked Konstantin to take all his things away. Nothing reminded Natalia of him anymore. The apartment was clean. The aroma of fresh pastries was spreading throughout the house. On the dining table was a bouquet of delicate peonies, Natalia's favorite flowers. Wow, Svetlana tried a lot. That was nice. "I'll let you get settled and set the table for us," the woman said affectionately. "Thank you, my dear. If not for you..." "Everything will be fine. I will always help you. Fortunately, the kids have grown up and no longer need their mother. And my husband is all at work. It makes me happy to be needed by you. I will try to visit you every day." That evening, the sisters were enjoying their delicious dinner and talking a lot. They were remembering their childhood, first crushes, and student years. Natasha was laughing and smiling sincerely for the first time in a while. But when her sister was getting ready to go home, loneliness overtook the woman again. "So the food is in the refrigerator. Be sure to eat. That's important. At least little by little, but do it, please. Otherwise, you will be weak. What else?" Standing at the doorway, Svetlana instructed her younger sister. "Oh yes, all the necessary medicines are in the first aid kit. But I hope you won't need them. Money is in the sideboard. That's all I had. In case you need something, I'll come in a few days after I do all my work. But my phone is always with me. Call me at any time, okay?" "Yes," Natasha answered, trying not to show the loneliness that had overtaken her. "Thank you very much again." "Just don't be bored, okay?" "I'll try. Good night." Natalia hugged her sister tightly and closed the door behind her. The feeling of loneliness filled the apartment. Passing by the mirror, the woman took off her headscarf to see what she looked like. In the reflection was an emaciated lady with her eyes filled with pain and melancholy. Running her hand over her head, Natasha sadly noted that there was no hair at all. How long would it take for it to grow back? And would everything be the same again? No one knew that. Having reached the living room, the woman turned on the TV, curled up on the sofa, and wrapped herself in a blanket. Her strength left her all at once. Her only desire was to fall asleep as soon as possible so that she could rest there and forget about the pain. And then Natalia slowly tried to fit into the old rhythm of life, although she knew that was impossible. With pain and misery, she forced herself to get out of the bed and do business. A little warm-up, hygiene procedures, cooking, reading books, and walking. All these regular things seemed unrealistic in her condition. But the woman did not give up. She knew that if she did, she would be down or even worse. Svetlana, as promised, often visited her sister and supported her efforts in every possible way. One day, she didn't come alone. Seeing a mysterious box in her hands, Natasha was surprised. "What do you have there?" "That's my gift to you. Take it." The woman handed the box to her sister. Natalia opened it and saw a little white kitten. "What is it?" "Not what, but who. It's a kitten for you. Look how cute he is. He's landed in our yard, can you imagine? But where should he go? No one will take him. He's underbred. That made me so sad. And I decided to give him to my sister. There will be someone to take care of, and he will always make you laugh. And thank you for saving him. Well, what would you say?" Natasha did not expect such a gift from her sister. She even got angry at first. But then she saw the kitten looking at her carefully and smiled. Wow, what a gorgeous look. "Well done, sister. Okay, God didn't give me a child, so I'll raise someone else's. It will be fun." "You're right. Put the kettle on. I've baked a cake." That was how Natalia got her faithful friend and her beloved pet. Finally, there was always someone waiting for her at home. The woman knew she was not alone. And this thought was very warming. After all, each person needs to be needed.